this a series when you were making the documentary?
You know, in the beginning, a lot of people asked me, why isn't this a series? Because there wasn't really a story. I just always believed in Jackie as a character and as a person, and the family as a setting. And I was always interested in making a feature-length film and something more serious. I mean, it's a very entertaining film, but it also operates on another level where it's really a reflection about the American dream and our values. And ultimately, it ended up being about the crisis and how that affected so many people. So I always thought of it as a feature-length film, but it certainly came up by other people, and in a way, it was kind of my challenge to prove that it could be a.
You know, please don't take this the wrong way, but to look at the log line of the film, there's no reason to think that you would come off as sympathetically as you do in the film. I mean, you are genuinely I won't say lovable, I don't know you that well, but a likable character in this story. Did you have any concerns about that, or did you put your total faith in the fact that that's the way we show up?
Thank you for the compliment. Actually, I'm not like a flamboyant person, I'm not a bragger, and I think a lot of people, when they heard that I was building the biggest home in America, they went in there to like not liking me because they thought maybe I was doing it because I was a show-off, and it wasn't. And you can see in the movie, it's just my husband could afford it, and we just built this home together, not knowing it was the largest home in America. We were building it for our family.
Could this series have happened if your husband had not found himself back in the chips and the house was back in construction? Or could it not, would there have been no possibility for it to be?
And by the way, it's not a series, it's a feature-length film.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was going to series.
No.
Oh, all right, okay. What a shame, it should be.
Well, the thing is, everyone wants to know what happened after the movie. My biggest question is, people say, what happened to the house? What happened to your husband's business? And what happened was, since he sold the one building in Las Vegas, he still had 27 resorts, and he streamlined the company, and the company's more profitable than ever. And we were able to start reconstruction on Versailles again, and we plan on being there, living there in about 3 years. And the house is, we own it free and clear, and we're just building it as we go along.
And to answer your question, I think it became a much more compelling and bigger story because of what happened to them and because of how they handled it. It started out as a look at the building of the biggest house in America and this dream of building the biggest house. And after the financial crisis severely hit David Siegel's timeshare company, it really transformed into an allegory about the overreaching of America and the mistakes that were made by so many and on so many levels that led to the economic crisis. I think that is part of Jackie becoming very sympathetic to people, was to see how she withstood that crisis and to see how, even though they lived these outside lives and lives that were a fantasy to so many people, they also experienced on some level what the kind of pain that so many people did undergo.
But isn't it aspirational at the same time to know that there is a second chance for everybody?
You know, I think the moral of the story is going to be different for everybody. I mean, I think David Siegel really speaks the moral of the story at the end of the film when he says we have to get back down to reality, we have to live in our means, we can't spend what we don't have. I think what we see in the film is that there is a consequence from the overreach, there's a consequence from building too big, and I think as the house has become a metaphor, the fact that now they're going into construction again, I think we'll have to, you know, look at what lessons can we draw and what does that say about us and our culture and our economy and where we're going.
I remember in the original documentary the part about the shoe closet, and I kept thinking to myself, you know, that was my house. And is there any point in time when you realize that excess is not an answer?
Well, no, excess is not an answer. Although with the shoes, I just collect the shoes. I hardly ever wear them. If you look at me in the movie, I'm mostly barefoot, and I've been pregnant like most of my 30s. And I did go to a psychic one time before I even met my husband, and they told me that I was going to be barefoot and pregnant, but I thought it was going to be like maybe living in a trailer. I didn't know it was gonna be in a palace.
I remember David Siegel said to me once, money doesn't make you happy, it just makes you miserable in a better neighborhood.
Lauren, the last time I talked to you, David wasn't talking to you. Has that been resolved? Because we wanted Jackie, and I'm glad she's here, because I love
Thank
the
you.
film. I still talk about it. When I go to Vegas, I still talk about this film. How's the relationship been?
You know, Jackie has been amazing since the opening of Sundance at promoting the film, and we've been around the world together promoting the film. I'm not talking to David, and we had a litigation, and we were fortunate enough to have the judgment by a federal judge in Florida come in our favor in January. To be continued.
Is David a participant in the follow-up?
There is no follow-up. We're here to
What am
promote
I
the
misunderstanding? They're
broadcast
just-
premiere of Queen of
You and
Versailles
Bravo's
on
just gonna
Bravo.
run the movie that we've seen?
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, but I am going to be on the Andy Cohen show, right after Bravo. And I'm really excited about that, cause he's a hoot. He's a lot of fun.
Has Bravo approached you at all about maybe considering a series based on your life and the continuation of the house?
They haven't really approached me, I don't know if they've approached you or something, but,
This is right up Andy Cohen's alley. I mean,
Yeah.
Really, you could do every room as it completes, you know?
yeah, we should do a home decorating, like,
Bingo.
special,
talk
right?
Talk about flipping a house, I mean,
I think-
really.
Well, Jackie, talk about what's been the most misconceived thing about you that you've heard from the movie that you weren't there to talk about yourself.
The most misconceived thing in the movie was, that it makes it look like we lost the house and we lost the company, which is totally untrue. Because we're doing great now, Westgate's doing fabulous. I don't know, I think I came across pretty normal. You know, I think it was pretty true about me. The critics, some of them were calling me like a big busted shopaholic. And I said, that's not true, but my husband said that's the only thing true about me in the whole movie. No, but that was a joke.
And we obviously beg to differ on that one.
It says in the notes that that there's plans to finish the house, but at airtime it remains unfinished and for sale. You have it covered in plastic?
No, the
I
house is,
mean, what are you doing?
we're putting the marble, we're under construction right now. We started construction about 4 months ago.
So it's back on, game on?
It's back on, and we're going to throw my husband's 80th birthday party there in 2 years. May 3rd, 2015 is gonna be a huge blowout party.
So
Now-
you're filming
Were you
that?
invited?
No, so at the end of the movie, Bank of America had filed for foreclosure, and David Siegel borrowed $20 million from a third party and used that to take it out of foreclosure. So I think the Orlando Sentinel called it the biggest mortgage in America, but they are building, and it'll be really exciting to see how that progresses.
Did you learn
How is David
anything
feeling
from
these
your-
days? Is he feeling better?
Is my husband feeling
Yeah,
better?
because he would have those attacks, and I could see why he was having those. Is he feeling better health-wise and everything?
No, he doesn't have any health problems, but he was just like kind of in a bad mood towards the end of the film. But he's up in New York right now, and he's looking at properties, and I'm excited to hopefully make some announcements next year.
Did you learn anything from your period of downsizing?
Well, you know what, I think my husband has more respect for me because he did ask me to cut back and stop throwing these huge extravagant parties, which I did, and it kind of helped us grow closer together because he saw that I wasn't there just for his wallet.
And how
Wait,
about the
actually, to
kids?
follow up on that, do you notice that you still are kind of maintaining that mentality? Because it's like people that go through the Great Depression, they hoard things because they're afraid tomorrow it's gonna be gone. Do you still have a little bit of the, it could happen again,
Well-
I might have to downsize again?
You know what, when I watched the movie and I saw David's office filled with all those papers and boxes, and he looks like a hoarder, but then you look at my game room and my garages, it looks like I'm a hoarder. So I guess that's why we're meant to be hoarders, like hoarders, I guess.
How about the kids? Were they affected at all by the film?
Well, we took the kids out of private school and put them in public school, but that was one of our cutbacks. We started, when we flew, mostly we flew commercial, and they weren't used to flying commercially, they're used to the private jets.
What about emotionally?
Emotionally, they were pretty sheltered. I mean, my kids, like, when they're picked up from school, they wanna be picked up in, like, one of our older, cars that we use for maintenance or something. They don't wanna be picked up in a Bentley, cause they're like, they just wanna be like normal kids.
Okay, well, I'm afraid our time is